Hello, everyone, and welcome to Discipline Daily, where we put discipline first. In today's episode, we're going to be going over dopamine, some of the things that we have learned from dopamine so far, some things we're going to be trying in the future with dopamine. And then after that, we are going to be talking about a little bit of Twitter news. But before we get into that, how have you been, Kyle?
I've been good, buddy. How's your rib been?
uh, Yeah, so I think on the last episode we were talking about it, and I was going to try to work out through it, which I did. But the only thing I could do was squats because I tried to do a little bit of bench press, and I think I aggravated it or something because it hurt so bad. Like Sunday after we did the podcast, and so yeah, I mean it's feeling better right now. I've been icing it and putting a heat bandage over. I have like this heat pad that I've been putting on it to kind of get it to relax. But so far today, I was my first day back at work, and it was okay. I had a couple times where it hurt pretty bad, but all in all, it was tolerable. What about you? How have you been the rest of the week? What have you been up to?
Mainly trying to keep chipping away at my little bow hunting adventure that I'm trying to do. I realized I'm gonna have to shoot, practice shooting a lot, right? So I try to measure out my backyard because I don't have the biggest backyard. I got a pretty dinky backyard. So I figured I need 20 yards. I don't have 20 yards, man. I had like in one area I had 22 feet, right? So I was thinking, how many? I was pretty sure that 3 feet is 1 yard, right? So I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, okay, so I went to Chat GPT and I said, how many yards is 22 feet? And it came back with the answer of 66 yards.
I think there's 3 feet in a yard.
Yeah.
So
So it's around 7.3
yeah,
yards.
7 yards.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't believe it. I took an actual picture of it. I put it up on Twitter. It was crazy, man. I'm like, dude, this is totally wrong.
So wrong.
Yeah, it's like really wrong. And then so last night I wanted to have a little conversation with ChatGPT. So I told it like, hey, the other day you lied. You said uh 22 feet would be 66 yards, right? And it's or I first asked how many I asked it again. It gave the right answer of 7.3. And then I went into the other day you lied. You said it was 66 yards. And it was like, and you could see it thinking, right? It was taking a while to think of an answer. I'm like, dude, this thing's lying to me. And it got me thinking, man. It's pretty scary stuff because whoever has control of that AI has control of pretty much everything, man.
Yeah.
It has control of history. It has control of everything it could, we're going to look to that thing for answers.
Yeah, it is really interesting, like what our world's going to be like with Chat GPT. It's imagine our world before Google, and how much simpler it was, and now we're going to have Chat GPT, which is almost, you know, the next step in the evolution of Google. So, what is this going to do to humans? It is scary.
It's scary, man. That's why I'm reading a book on AI right now because I figure I want to kind of learn a little more about it. But most people think, even this Chat GPT is artificial intelligence or whatever. But we got to remember it's not the one that we should be kind of afraid of, which would be artificial general intelligence, where it could think for itself. It's
Yeah.
still think for itself.
Do you think we'll ever get there to the artificial general intelligence?
Yeah, but I mean, I what do I know? The only thing I know is technology's like exponentially growing. So
You would think somebody would have to create it, right? Like it's not going to, like Chat GPT isn't going to create it on its own because you have to program that still. Even though it's gives you all these answers, it's programmed. It's still something that humans have programmed and have to type in the algorithm to get it to say the things that it says.
yeah, yeah, I think it'll be done eventually. So, but that's scary stuff, man, and it, it just was scary that just an easy answer like that it couldn't even give me the right answer. And
Yeah,
then
that's weird.
yeah.
So the bow hunting thing, I mean, do you have a bow?
Oh, no, so that's where I was getting into. I only have 22 feet to deal with, which is 7 yards. You wanna practice, from what I've been reading, at about 20 yards, but then my buddy was telling me that even, I guess, at 22 feet, there'd be a lot of benefits in me practicing the pull and all that stuff and just
Yeah.
firing. So I'm gonna have to do that, and then I'm gonna have to find somewhere where I could practice at 20 yards and 40 yards and stuff. So that's where I'm at on that, but I'm just slowly chipping away. I don't have anything yet.
Well, if I were you, I would just get a bow and then start practicing just the pullback, just the part pulling it back and aiming. And then if you only have 7 yards, just practice at 7 yards. And then once you get somewhere where you can practice at 20 yards, you'll already have the step up on the 7 yards. So it's just getting better at that.
Dude, maybe I'll just have to try to kill him at 7 yards. Get right
Well,
up.
we'll just do it here, bro. You provide the bow, I'll provide the yard, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's why I think you should get into it too. You got a perfect yard for it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean,
It's
I wouldn't be opposed to trying that. That'd be awesome.
Dude, just imagine shooting some arrows in your backyard. That's awesome. It's
Cool to
fun.
have like everybody has like guns and shit, but it'd be cool to have a bow and arrow. Have a bow with an arrow. It's like someone's coming at you, you just get them with a bow real quick.
Oh, dude, that's what I want to be lethal with that thing, dude. I'm gonna
Carrying in your car, like someone just pisses you off in traffic, you just bust out your bow.
yeah, just real fast, huh?
What make me get you with this bow, dude?
Yeah.
Just Legolas over there, dude. Just like pull it out your back.
Yeah, man. So that's the goal. I'm gonna I was a little discouraged. I'm not gonna lie. When I realized my yard wasn't 20 yards, at 20 yards in a spot where I could safely shoot without stuff being in the way and stuff, it was a little discouraging.
Yeah. But you can't let it get you down, dude. It's like with anything, it's just do the best you can do. And then, I mean, that's all you can do. That's all you can control. You can't
Dude,
control your yards, but you can control, getting the bow, getting set up, learning how to pull it back. I mean, you can control all that. So,
mhm,
it's
that's
just like
that's
this
what
podcast. Like, sometimes we don't know when to do it. When can we do it? Oh, we got to do it late. Okay, well, we can't control the time, but we can control everything else.
yeah. Yeah, I'm still pretty blown away. I mean, we're on ninth week in a row, and we're doing this episode right now on a Friday night after we both worked a full day. So, and I got a baby. Nick has a baby on the way. So we have everything kind of working, I wouldn't say against us, but it's making it more difficult to keep this going, but we're making it happen. Mm.
Yeah, but we're practicing what we preach, and we're trying not to let the little things that are trying to hold you down keep you from doing what you say you're going to do. So that's something that I'm super. I
Yeah. I'm super proud about that too, dude. Did you say proud?
think I said stoked.
Oh, oh, but like I was saying, so when I was getting a little bit discouraged about the bow hunting, right? What do you think started creeping in?
some resistance.
My self-doubt, dude,
Yeah.
and resistance.
All self doubt is resistance.
Bro, but the self-doubt was coming hard because then I was thinking, once I even get this bow, man, it's like, I mean, I plan on doing most of this by myself too, right? So you're gonna be out in the woods or wherever, because I don't have a spot to hunt deer. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna go for turkeys first, right? So I'm gonna be on land that I'm not really familiar with, too, by myself, doing a new sport. And it's not like a gun. Like if I was with a rifle, it wouldn't be that intimidating. But I guess that's where the practice comes in, and yeah, so that's why I just got.
They make like practice dummies, don't they? Like they make like a looks like a deer or something or a pig, and you can like set it up somewhere and shoot it.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'll get that. That would probably be really expensive too. The one I'm gonna get is like it's a box. It's just like a cube, and you just shoot into that. That's the one I'm gonna get. But yeah, I mean, I'll keep updating people, and yeah, maybe someday I'll have a feral hog mounted up on the wall or something.
Yeah, that's cool though, bro. It's cool that you're realizing that you self doubt was creeping in, and you can be aware and start to try to change it.
Yeah, man, and I love doing stuff like this, right? You get out of your comfort zone, do something that you're intimidated by, and really push yourself, and just know that with a little bit of time and a little bit of work each day, you'll get there.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, you don't have 7 yards. Okay, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, you're just shooting at 7 yards. But all right, but you're still doing it.
Dude, I'm
I
gonna have
think
to.
you have to reason with yourself with that, with the self doubt when it's creeping in. You have to kind of tell yourself, like, I mean, it goes back to the self talk episode we did, where you got to tell yourself, like, no, dude, who cares? Who cares what this person thinks or that person thinks, or if I only have 7 yards, or if I only, it's just those are just excuses.
Yeah, I'd have to creep really close to that animal though to get 7 years.
Yeah, yeah. Within 7 yards.
Dude, and so what I've been reading so far about turkeys and stuff, man, I guess turkeys have like super crazy vision. Like they could see really good.
It's probably
So
because everyone's always trying to eat them, dude.
yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it's cool like learning about all these animals, right? But I think the turkey, I feel like that'd be the first best animal for me to go for because I feel like I would know how to butcher a turkey a little more than a pig. And I think it'd be easier to carry out of there and stuff. Because that's one thing I don't really understand is say you're hunting by yourself and you kill like a huge elk. How do you get that guy out of there?
Yeah, if you're by yourself, I don't know, that'd be hard.
And you hiked in, like say you're deep in the woods, man. Say you've been camping like for a couple days. So yeah, that's the stuff I'm gonna have to learn.
Yeah. Maybe try to find somebody who does it or a class or something
Oh,
and
my buddy. I,
oh, he
I
does.
I'm probably yeah. He said he shot. He sent me a picture of it. It looked like a pretty big. I think it was some type of elk or something. He said he got it last year.
You can get a freezer and just put that shit in there and
I know,
eat for a while.
dude. Make like jerky.
So I wanted to ask you about the David Goggins book. Did you finish it, the new one?
Yeah.
Or what'd you think of it?
Um. It's all right, man. And honestly, it is funny because Steph just got done reading Can't Hurt Me. And she said she really liked when he was talking about the mental aspect, which I did too. But when he got into his stories, that's when it was boring. It's just we can only handle so much, like we get it.
So, but the second one was kind of along the same lines.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, this one was kind of all story and not much mental stuff at all.
Hmm.
So
On a scale of one to 10, 10 being read it, one being you don't read it, what would you give it?
A 5.
So like in the middle.
The first one I would say about a 7 or an 8.
That's what I was gonna say, 7 or 8.
Yeah. Hey, so man, what do you think about all the toxic chemical spills?
Oh man, I've just been kind of watching some videos on that. It's pretty crazy.
Dude, what do you like? I don't get. Have you ever heard of this? Like trains derailing?
I mean, it happens. Yeah, I've
Well,
heard about it.
happens, but when was the last time you heard of something like this happening?
It's been years. I remember there was like one in Philadelphia or something like a long time ago that it had. They don't really report it that often, you know.
Yeah. It's
But this
just
one seems pretty gnarly. It seems like the media is not really even talking about it. There's really no coverage on it. I mean, the only places you're getting it from is like TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. You're not really getting it from the media barely. I mean, I haven't really watched it, but I don't really see that they're really going over it.
I guess those gases that went into the air were like the same chemicals that they used in World War One.
Oh yeah, like the kind of like gas attack that they did in World War I, huh? Like the same kind of gases.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I heard they use it to make like PVC pipe or something, but why do you need so much of it on 3 train cars? I don't know.
Yeah,
They
and
burned it. They burned it, right? They set it on fire.
I guess I don't really know too much about it.
Yeah, I heard they set it on fire so they could like get the train thing back and up and running, the tracks back up and running. So they burnt it, and all the chemicals went up in the air and like are attaching to water molecules in the all the water in the air, and now they're creating these clouds and like fish are dying and pets are dying and all kinds of stuff.
Man, I'm just glad it didn't happen here, dude. I mean, I hope
What
those
would you
people
do?
are.
Would you move? Would you go somewhere? Would you leave? I think I would have to leave. So I mean,
I would have to. I
that's crazy.
do horrible. I almost need to get a hazmat suit, dude.
Yeah, hazmat house. Put a tarp over it.
Man, I hope those people are okay. This is wild. And it's just crazy that we like our president, he's not doing anything about it.
I just don't know what you can do, dude. After it's already in the air and everything, it's like, what can you do? They need to like need to
Help.
really strap down on what they transport in these train tracks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. They need a plan to fix all that. That can never happen again, you know?
Yeah,
Crazy stuff. It's I feel like the closer we're getting to 2030, things are getting crazier and crazier.
yeah. I know it's rough, dude, but it's just like with that big oil spill in the Gulf. Remember that oil spill in the Gulf, like in 2013, where it was just pumping, or it was that drill that like blew up, and it was just pumping gas, oil into the sea for like months, just gushing.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, like like nobody even thinks about that anymore. It's like, oh, who cares?
Man, think of all the long-term effects that probably had.
Yeah. Well, let's get on a better note here. We're bringing ourselves down over here. Let's bring this thing up. Let's start talking about dopamine. So, what do you know about dopamine?
I know that most of us today get it through technology mainly, when probably about 20 years ago we got it through other sources, but now we got dopamine 24/7 in like very large amounts. So,
Yeah,
dude, who knows what's even going to happen to people after all this, you know?
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's what makes you addicted to things. So, from what I know about it, is it's a chemical in your brain that is released. It's a hormone that gets released when you it's like a reward system for your brain. It makes you want to keep doing things. So it's anything that you like to do, whether it be watching TV or going on TikTok or working out or listening to music, or even when you do drugs. Drugs is a kind of an extreme example, but it just, your brain releases dopamine and it makes you want to keep doing more of that thing. So I think what the problem is nowadays is that we get it so fast and so easy. We get cheap dopamine. So we don't have to really work for anything. It's not like you go and you build a whole huge house and then you take a step back and look at it and you're proud of yourself and you get that good feeling of, wow, I did that. It was like a reward. We just get those cheap, easy rewards now from just on our phone, the next TikTok video, the next TikTok video, the next TikTok video. And it's just giving you those like little dopamine hits. Well, another thing with dopamine that I've kind of learned is that it's also like a pool in your brain. So you have it. Once you run out of it, then you start to feel real sad. You start to feel down on yourself. And that's why people that take like a certain drug and then they feel really good, maybe ecstasy or some other type of drug like that, when you come off of it, you start to feel really depressed for a long period of time, maybe a day or 2 days or a week. I mean, depending on the person. So you have this pool that you can empty really fast if you're giving yourself like a lot of little dopamine hits all the time. So I mean, it comes back, after a while, but if you're not like doing, you have to do the hard stuff, the stuff that's like you don't want to do. You got to go through the hard stuff to get that dopamine replenished. So I think that's one thing that, I've been really trying to learn more about. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on it at all, but I really want to really know how to control that dopamine.
Yeah, how do you so when do you think your little dopamine pool gets replenished? Do you think it's when we go to sleep?
I think it's just over time of not having, it's like anything else. Like if you use it up, like it takes a while for it to replenish. So if you're constantly using it, constantly getting these little hits and you're not allowing yourself to like replenish it, then it's, you're not going to get it. You're going to have a chronic, like depressed spell because you're not allowing yourself to do things you don't like. Maybe going to work. Let's say going to work. You don't want to go to work. Maybe you hate your job or whatever, but it's hard and you're doing that. And then you're not doing anything that's making you like want that to feel good. I want to feel good. And so your pool is allowed to like, build back up. That's why I listened to the Andrew Huberman podcast on dopamine. And one of the things he was saying is let's say you want to work out, but you like to listen to music while you're working out. Like that's one of the things about working out you like. Like I like having the music on super loud. Like that's what makes me want to work out. So what you're doing is you're associating working out with that dopamine hit of the music. So you're actually using, you're using dopamine to do the workout, which you should be working out and grinding and having it be hard without getting a dopamine hit. So he'll say in there like, sometimes not to listen to music while you're working. Don't try to add dopamine like things to get you to do the hard things, because you should do the hard things and then allow your dopamine to like reset.
That's cool. I used to be one of those guys that if I didn't have music, I could not work out.
Me
Like,
too.
dude, bad. But now I can work out without music easily. I love it. I actually prefer it sometimes because I have mental games with myself the whole time. That's fun for me. I get to listen to my thoughts and challenge myself. So I actually like doing that. I feel like the music's a distraction a lot of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would remember times where say I'd be at a hotel or something, I'd forget my earbuds. Yeah, I would not be able to work out.
I
It
know this even at work, dude, like, cause I listen to audiobooks and podcasts while I'm at work. And if there's a day where my AirPods are dead, I'm like, oh man, like, I just feel like this sucks. This sucks. This sucks. I hate it. And that just goes to show you that, you're relying on that podcast and that audiobook as like a dopamine like system. You want that to be able to work. And if you don't have it, you just get pissed off.
Wow, that's funny. I've even been noticing that at work too, because I'll use them and then sometimes I won't. But what I've kind of been doing throughout the day too is now I use them for most of the day, and then towards the maybe the second half of the day, I'll take them out. So I kind of get the best of both worlds. It's been working pretty good.
Yeah. It's just, these systems have developed over thousands and thousands of years, and it was more meant for, when we were in a tribe and we had to go out and hunt all day, and we had to have, we had to go out and kill something and do the work, and it maybe wasn't fun and it was scary and you could possibly die. But once you killed it and you brought it back to the tribe, and then you guys were sitting around the fire eating it, I mean, that dopamine hit that you got from that was probably, I mean, it was probably way intense. It probably felt so cool. And that's the way that we were designed. We weren't designed to have these dopamine like hits on us every single day, 24/7, constantly, just, all this dopamine hit. And then, after a while, people will start to become depressed.
Wow. Yeah, you're onto something with that. I think you're exactly right. Yeah, back in the day, I think, oh my God, just imagine, man, working, say you were hunting an animal for a couple days and you finally got it.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody would be going through the roof.
Yeah, and then that makes you want to do that again. That makes you go through the pain of whatever you had to do to get that. It made you want to go and do it again. It was a survival thing.
Wow.
So, nowadays it's like we don't really need that for survival. We don't need to do that, but it's kind of taken away from us, I feel like. And when we get these cheap dopamine hits and we haven't earned it, it's just like anything else. When you don't earn it, you don't respect it.
Oh my God, dude. You're really onto something, man. Cause yeah, think all these kids that are growing up with all the dopamine they could ever want. And they never I mean, at least we got to experience normal life.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, we still probably got dopamine hits in the, 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but not to the level that we're getting it today.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Wow. That's dude, we have no idea what this is gonna do to people in the long run.
I mean, just with porn alone, I mean, it's something that, as a man, you have to go out and you have to talk to girls, and you have to, put yourself out there and, put yourself in uncomfortable situations and do the work, things that you don't enjoy. But then when you meet a girl, you and her, that's when you guys can, have sex or do whatever. But nowadays, you don't have to do that. You can just go on your phone, look it up on some porn site, and you get in that instant dopamine hit from that when you didn't do anything to earn it. And that's the
Wow,
problem. And that's just one example. But, it's like people don't earn their dopamine anymore.
dude. And if you look at the whole society right now, it's all man, you could order food from your phone. Boom, it's there. All the movies you could ever want is there.
I
Oh
mean,
my
even think about, remember, I don't know if everybody feels this way, but back in the day, it was like if a movie was on TV, even if you didn't really want to watch it, you watched it, and you liked it, right? But now you have Netflix where you have hundreds of movies, hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of movies, and you're sitting there scrolling on it like, what do I watch? Nope, stupid. Nope, don't want to watch that, because you have so many choices. You don't want to waste. That's not going to hit your dopamine. That's not going to get your dopamine. So you're becoming desensitized to your dopamine. You need even bigger dopamine hits than before, because you're not sensitive to it. It's like anything else. If you smoke too much weed all the time, you need to take bong rip after bong rip in order for it to get you high. But if you never smoke weed, just being around somebody smoking is going to get you high.
wow. Dude, do you remember the HBO guides?
And you sit there and just for
Oh
an
my
hour, dude. Nobody could do that anymore, man.
no, no, no. No, the HBO guides where it has the shows and the movies like, oh, at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
you would sit there and watch it and be like, okay, which one am I going to watch? What time?
Dude, it was the best because you'd be like, "Oh my god, that movie's playing at 5 o'clock." It's
You know,
like you tell the whole family that, and dude, that was so exciting. You're so right. It was so much more rewarding.
how often have you watched a movie or anything or something on TV without grabbing your phone? You know, without having that feeling of, oh, I want to grab my phone. What's on Twitter? What's on this? Like,
Dude,
people get that all the time. Like, they can't even watch a show anymore without having to go on their phone.
I don't even watch shows anymore because I'm on my phone.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'd rather be on my phone than watch some mindless show. I'd rather be on my phone learning. But yeah, I mean, if me and Steph do a movie and it's a movie we're gonna sit down and watch, we pretty much have a rule where your phone is not allowed, you
yeah.
know. So you got to
But
do
I even notice with me, dude. Sometimes, like, I'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna watch." Like, while I was on, out with my injury, I'm like, "Oh, I got some time. I haven't seen these Lord of the Rings movies. They just put them on Netflix." I'm like, "Oh, let me watch these. I want to watch this." Dude, I used to be able to sit through a Lord of the Rings movie and no problem. I'd watch the whole thing. I
that.
haven't seen these movies in years. I kind of don't even remember what's going on in them. And dude, I couldn't finish it because I'm just like, oh, my phone's right here. I got to see what's on YouTube. I got to, it's like I started noticing it in myself where I'm like, oh my God, like, and I've noticed this before, but it's just crazy how you just can't focus anymore.
Wait, so you couldn't focus on the movie when you're watching the movie? You're thinking about your phone?
I wasn't thinking about my phone, but I would look at it and be like, oh, let me just see real quick what's on YouTube or something, or what's on this. It's like I'm not on vacation, but I'm on an injury, but it's like I got all the time. I can just look up what's on my phone. It's just hard. It's almost impossible to watch a full movie nowadays. It's crazy.
All right, man. So we are aware of how bad dopamine is now. So what are some ways that we can reset it so we
Well,
can actually live normal lives again?
one thing that worked for me, which I'm gonna go back to now because I, just kind of realized it's happening again, is the dopamine fasting. So just trying your best to not, and you know what, I kind of messed up on the first one because I was doing music still. No, I didn't do music. I did audiobooks. So I was doing audiobooks and I was doing and I
Dude,
was reading. But I think reading is fine, but the audiobook thing, maybe
reading
can't do that.
reading's cool. Audiobooks, no way, man. Because think about it. You got the Netflix of audiobooks. Ooh, what do I want to read? No.
Hmm. So it's just trying to get rid of a lot of the things that hit your dopamine. So anything that's going to be media, and trying to just do things that aren't that, but also, I mean, just hard stuff, dude. Without, like, if let's say you work, like I said, working out, I have to listen to music while I work out. Like, I like that. It gives me that dopamine. Just don't listen to music. Sorry, I can't listen to music right now for today. I'm fasting from dopamine. And
So
even working out is kind of a dopamine hit too.
yeah, so I would say pretty much anything that you like to do.
I would say anything that you like to do that you don't have to work for. So working out is a dopamine hit, but you're putting in the work for it. You have to actually like work to get that dopamine. Um, Things like that. It's like, oh, go to work, and then after work, it's like, okay, I worked my hard day. I'm gonna, like, don't watch TV or anything, but maybe I get to read my book or I get to have an ice cream or something. It's like you worked for it. It's not like a quick little, like, oh, TikTok, next video, next video, next video, next video, next video. Oh, let's go to YouTube now. That's just constant dopamine, dude. And then people wonder why they're depressed. Why am I so depressed? Why am I not happy? Why, because you're
Dope.
not, you don't have that chemical. You don't have that hormone in your body. There's none left.
Oh my god, it's just gonna get worse and worse.
That's why we gotta, I don't know like everything about it yet, but I'm starting to do some research on it because I think this is one of the more important, besides, for guys, testosterone and getting your ratios right with that. But besides that, this is one of the most important hormones, man. I mean, it literally dictates what you do. Like, if you don't have dopamine, you wouldn't want to do anything. There'd be no reward. for doing hard stuff. So why do it?
Yeah. Holy crap. Man, yeah, we're under attack big time. Look at everything, man. Dopamine, obesity, men's testosterone. It's all going bad.
It's just for profits, man. I mean, it's a lot of people will say conspiracies and stuff, but I think it's more just for profit. I mean, that's everybody's in a competition to make money, to make the most money, to make the next best product that's going to get people hooked. I mean, it's just greed, and people want to make money, and they know, dude. I mean, TikTok knows how to get you. Uh, they all know what they know about dopamine. They all know about dopamine. They hire these guys that are scientists that know exactly how the human brain work. Just like and like I've read this book called I think it was called Influence, and it's like they know all these little tricks, all these like psychological tricks to get you to buy stuff because if like the reciprocation principle where it's like, oh, if someone gives you something, like you feel more inclined to have to buy something from them, because they did something for you. So now, I get mean to him. It's like these little tricks that they know about.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and you could see some places that use that trick, man. Like, what is it? Discount Tire. If
Yeah,
if you have a nail in your tire, they'll take it out for free. They know what that's doing.
yeah. Oh, I love Discount Tire. We're gonna go back there every time.
Get all my
There's
tires in.
all these tricks. There's all these psychological, like logical tricks, and they know what they're doing, dude. They know exactly what they're doing. They want to get that dopamine from you because hooked. It's like a drug.
Yeah, that's why we gotta combat it. So, yeah, we're gonna continue to learn about dopamine. This won't be the last episode we do on
We'll
dopamine.
probably do multiple episodes on dopamine because I'm still just even learning about it.
Yeah, and I remember you were telling me, we both listened to the Huberman's episode on dopamine, and I still feel like people haven't really covered the subject too well. So that's what we're gonna try to do.
Yep. All right. Well, that's kind of a somewhat brief uh, discussion of that. We'll get back to that and do more of that. But let's get into some Twitter news.
Heck yeah, Twitter news. Let's go.
News.
Okay, the first up, we got some more obesity news because kind of into that subject right now. It's a big problem. It's a problem that kind of pisses me off because nobody is doing anything about it. And I got into a couple of debates on Twitter this past week on obesity. I'll get into that a little later, but this is obesity puts you at risk of erectile dysfunction, cancer, and dying before 60. Yeah, so it's more stuff on obesity, man. But I was getting into some pretty heated debates on Twitter, and people were saying it's I was saying the main problem with obesity right now is company greed. And I had a lot of pushback on that, and people were saying, no, it's up to the individual's choice. But that's very dumb to think that way because obviously that's not working. These people that make the food, they chemically engineer it to be really highly palatable, really addicting. Just like we were talking about with the
Just
dope,
cheat, dude.
they know what to do to get you to hooked, so you buy their products. And when you start thinking about it, we have so much company greed set up on people buying these products. They become a consumer of not just the food, it's they become a consumer of all the health problems that go along with it. So we need to
The
solve
advertising. I mean,
we
the
need
advertising alone is bad too.
yeah, we need to solve the company greed in order to solve obesity because it's much easier to do that than to change everybody's habits, their bad habits. That's very difficult to do. I mean, the people that are obese, you know, it's they're in a tough bind. So we need to try to get these companies to start promoting good products. Like, why can't they make really healthy products addicting? You
Yeah.
know?
No, it's these man-made minerals like MSG that they put in all their food, and I think I might have mentioned this once before, but it's like when I stopped eating fast food and I only ate food that I cooked from home, as soon as I was like, "Oh, okay, let's, I'll eat a taco." I think it was Taco Bell that I ate at, and I used to love Taco Bell. And I got some, I forget, it was like a taco, it was like their Doritos taco or something like that. And I took one bite into it, and my tongue just went like, well, it's just like I could taste the chemicals and the MSG on this taco. And I was like, holy cow, like this just lit up my brain real quick. And it's like, dude, man, when people that don't have like iron minds that can be addicted to things super easily, like that to them is like they have to have it. I
Mhm.
mean, even me, I think I was like that at one point where I was like, oh man, I'm craving Taco Bell. I'm craving this.
Dude, I used to love Taco Bell, but I've been boycotting Taco Bell for probably 6 years now.
Why is that?
There's this really cool KFC Taco Bell combo right down the street, and they forgot I ordered a little bit of KFC and a little bit of Taco Bell, and I was so happy. Ordered it, drove all the way home, and they forgot all my Taco Bell. So I drove back. I drove back and I was mad. And I went in there and I like said, "Hey, you guys left my Taco Bell. I want a refund and I want the food." They're like, "No, we can give you a refund." I'm like, "I want a refund and I want the food." They weren't having it. So I kind of threw a little hissy fit and I've been boycotting them ever since.
Boycotting him, or you're not allowed here, sir. We got your picture up on the wall.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I killed two birds with one stone. I got rid of a bad habit, and so I haven't ate at Taco Bell in like 6 years.
I mean, ultimately, it is like the individual's problem. They should do the research. They should know what they're putting in their body. They should exercise. And but it doesn't make it a lot easier when every day you're being bombarded on TV with ads, and they make the food just, they basically add drug chemicals to these foods to get you to crave them and want to eat them. It's not right.
Yeah, and that's where I'm getting at. It's like if the companies weren't doing that, would we have an obesity problem like we have? I don't think so. So yeah, that's something that and I don't see anybody working on it. Which it just makes me mad, man. It's just the obesity rate's just continuing to climb and nobody's doing anything about it. So, I mean, that's the one thought that I have.
Yeah, and these companies, they want to keep you that way, man. They want to keep you as a consumer of their goods. I mean, it's all about money. You got to ask yourself, everything in this world is about money. So you just got to ask yourself, where's the, like, why are they doing this? I mean, how would they make money off of this? And that's what they're doing. They want you to keep being just gluttonous and just keep eating, eat as much of our food as you can so we can make as much money as we can. They don't care about you. People don't care about you, dude. You have to care about you, and you have to be the one to put the fork down, put those tacos down, and tell yourself, no, I'm not eating that. It doesn't matter.
Yep. All right. So next up, I did a little poll. So I do a poll every Wednesday, guys. So if you want to be a part of the show, make sure you vote in that poll. All right. So do you mainly focus on what you can control? Yes or no?
I think for me, if I was going to take that poll, I wish you had a middle one. I wish you had like, now I
Six.
do, yes, but I used to not.
Oh yeah, right.
But yeah, now I mean, I always tell myself that if there's something that's making me mad, I'm like, can I control this? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then I don't try anymore.
Mhm.
If the answer is yes, then I try my best to change it.
Yeah, mine recently just changed yes a few years ago. because I wasn't aware. It's like, oh, I'd be getting mad at people driving on the highway, but dude, you literally cannot control how anybody drives.
Mhm.
So to like worry about that is really dumb. So, and when you just get rid of just focusing on what you can control, you make your life so much better.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that's that.
stressful. You make it less stressful.
Yeah. So there's 40 votes. What do you think the percentages yes was?
I think most people think they do that. I mean, even though they probably don't.
I was thinking the exact same thing, dude. So 68% put yes, but I guarantee it's
Yeah,
probably in the single digits, man.
I would say that too. Because I bet you if I took that poll 3 years ago, I would have said, yeah, I do that. But when you really start doing it and really focusing on it, you realize I wasn't doing that.
Well, dude, you can tell just by looking outside. When you go out in the world and you meet people, you can hear them complaining about literally stuff they cannot control all the time. So, I mean, it's a difficult one because the key is you got to be aware of it, and you got to be aware of it at the time that it
Yeah.
happens. It's a practice, and it's one that me and Nick practice daily.
Something that you get better at. I mean, it's something like at first it's just being aware of it, and then after a while you start analyzing that through that filter all the time. Anything that happens to you, you put it through that filter of can I control this or can I not control this? Okay, well, I can't control this. Okay, so I'm not going to care. It's like a
Mhm.
filter that you add to yourself.
It's so much better, man, especially with say somebody did something to you and it kind of made you a little bit mad, and then you kind of think about it all day. If you're doing that, that's no good. You can't
Yeah.
control it, so just literally just move on.
I used to get like that too. Like if we'd be at work and somebody would say something to me, and my whole day was messed up. I was angry. It affected me when I got home, and now it's like I feel like our job kind of taught us that though. It's like you can't take every little thing that somebody does to you and get upset about it. It's like it doesn't. At the end of the day, in 5 years from now, I ain't gonna remember this. So who cares? If it doesn't matter in 5 years, it really doesn't matter.
Dude, yeah, I was right there with you, man. Somebody would say something to me and it would ruin my whole day. And now I'm pretty good at, man. I think about it for maybe 30 seconds and then it's gone. It's pretty
Yep.
quick now. So it's
Yeah, I
getting
mean, sometimes it depends on the thing. I think for me, sometimes it lasts like a little bit longer, but I'm able to really like start going through it and be like, hey, bro, like it's okay. Like it doesn't matter. That person was just, something happened to that person that day. You can't control how they're gonna act toward you. Only thing you can do is control how you respond. That's all you can control. You know
yeah.
what I've been doing lately? I heard this on a podcast. It was like hug yourself, dude. Like give yourself a hug. Like when you're feeling like stressed out or you're feeling like pissed off or you're feeling like something like that or you're feeling nervous or you got something going on, like just hug yourself. Just give yourself a nice hug and just tell yourself like like it's okay, man. Like you'll get through this. Like you're good. Like I think as men we don't do that. Like we try to just be tough and be like but I think you need some self-love sometimes and it really helps. I've been doing that lately and I feel like that it does help a lot.
Huh. Where'd you learn that like self hug thing?
Yeah, it was from some podcast. Yeah, I'd have to get back to you on that. I don't remember the exact. It was a lady that I don't remember her name, but she was talking about how she was really had a lot of anxiety, and she'd get anxiety when anytime she did anything like to present something or something like that. And it was all like because of her ego and just her kind of hating on herself and saying, what if you mess up? What you're going to look stupid, just kind of almost like giving herself some self-hate. So this person told her to just start hugging herself and giving her some comfort. And instead of like, giving negative self-talk to give positive self-talk and be caring to yourself. And she said once she started doing that, like it kind of just changed her life. So I was like, I'll try that. And I haven't really had any big things come up where I need to like love myself like that, but I've been doing it every now and then, just telling myself like, you're doing a good job and stuff, and it helps.
Wow. Shoot, I'm gonna have to try. Yeah, I feel like I'm super hard on myself.
I think everyone is.
Yeah, I'm a little too hard. I'm like, dude, you're doing pretty good. So just keep going.
That's one thing that I really want to start like looking into is like self-love, and like, it's not self-love to where if you're messing up, you can be like, oh, it's okay, you're messing up, it's fine. Not that kind of self-love, but like just when you're doing good, and instead of being hard on yourself, like, oh, you messed up one time, it's like, well, dude, you're kicking ass. So love yourself a little more.
Yeah, that's cool. Sweet. All right. Yeah, we got one more, and this one's pretty cool. So this is a little thought experiment by Sahil Bloom. You're in an arena with 50 hawks, 10 crocodiles, 3 brown bears, 15 wolves, 1 hunter with a rifle, 7 buffalo, 10,000 rats,
You lost me.
5 gorillas, and 4 lions. Pick 2 to defend you. The others attack you. Your goal is to survive 1 hour. What would you pick and why? It's
I've
a
heard,
little hard for you to do with.
unless you're reading it.
So you got 50 hawks, 10 crocodiles, 3 brown bears, 15 wolves, 1 hunter with a rifle, 7 buffalo, 10,000 rats, 5 gorillas, 4 lions.
And you could pick two. Does the rifle have unlimited bullets?
I would assume so.
I pick the birds and the guy with the gun. Because you birds will fly you up over all those fucks, and then the guy with the gun, you can just shoot them guys. Shoot them all.
Yeah, that could work.
Just hold on to all those birds. Be flying around.
Like, what was it? Yeah, like Gandalf, dude.
Yeah. Being saved by that bird, that giant ass bird.
So the first response I put was I picked 15 wolves and then 1 hunter with the rifle. But the more I was thinking about it, I would go for the numbers, dude. So I picked 10,000 rats and 50 hawks because I want the numbers. And then the way I was thinking about it, the hawks will go for the guy with the gun, the hunter, and then I'll take the gun, and then I got the gun, and I got 10,000 rats and 50 hawks. And I'll take down all
How many bears?
3.
Oh, damn, well, bears are beasts, though, bro.
I know, I got a boom. It'd be a 50 cal too. So it'd be boom and just so
Interesting.
yeah, it was a cool little thought experiment. But yeah, so that's pretty much it that I have on Twitter. Minus there's been tons of I've been bombarding Joe Biden's Twitter or whoever writes his Twitter. It's pretty funny. I've been just attacking it recently, but that's been fun.
Keep it up.
Yeah, all right.
Keep them accountable, man.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, that was another good episode, Kyle. Just so you guys know, I mean, we're new at this too. We're just trying to learn and keep progressing. We're not experts on anything, and we just want to, have you guys come along with us. And thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any questions, send them to Calisthenic Kyle over there on Twitter. And then, yeah, that was another good episode, Kyle. So
Yeah.
thank you all for listening, and have a good day.
Pain is good.
Pain is great.